Okay, so if you're over 40 and listening to this, you might have noticed a thing or two changing, right? Like maybe you don't have quite the same energy you used to.
Yeah, or maybe those little indulgences, the treats and stuff,
Mm,
they hit you a bit differently now.
exactly. And we hear from a lot of people about this, feeling like their blood sugar just isn't as easy to manage as it used to be.
It's a big shift for a lot of people around this age.
It really is. So we're doing a deep dive today into why that happens, what's going on in our bodies around age 40 that makes blood sugar a bit more of a challenge. We've been looking into a bunch of research, really digging into the reasons behind this, and importantly, exploring some natural things we can all do to feel more in control.
That's the key, right? Understanding what we can actually do about it.
Totally. So consider this your guide to figuring out what's up and how to handle it. And get this, we even found this fascinating connection between how much muscle you have and your blood sugar.
Yeah, that one surprised a lot of people.
It did. We'll get into that. Plus the role hormones play, and even some specific nutrients that can be real game changers. So let's get right into it. Like, what happens when we hit 40 that makes it feel like, metabolically speaking, things are kind of shifting, especially when it comes to blood sugar?
It's actually a bunch of things happening all at once, which is kind of what makes it so chorry. But one of the biggest is that we naturally start losing muscle mass, a process called sarcopenia.
Sarcopenia. I've heard of that.
Right. So after 40, most people lose like 3 to 8% of their muscle mass every decade. And that loss can even speed up after 60.
Wow, so it's a gradual decline that can get steeper later on.
Exactly. Now, here's why this matters so much for your blood sugar. Muscle is like the main place glucose goes after you eat. Think of your muscles like little sponges soaking up extra sugar from your blood.
Okay, I like that visual.
Right. So if you have fewer sponges, less muscle, there's less space to absorb all that glucose.
Yeah.
And what happens? It stays in your bloodstream, leading to higher blood sugar levels.
Makes sense. Fewer sponges, more liquid left over.
And it's not just the muscle shrinking, Our hormones are going through their own changes around this time too.
Oh, yeah, hormones. We hear a lot about that, especially for women.
Definitely. So for women going through perimenopause, which often starts in the 40s, estrogen levels start to drop. And that can actually make the body less sensitive to insulin.
Insulin, that's like the key that lets sugar into our cells for energy, right?
Exactly. So with less estrogen, your body might not respond to insulin as well. It's like the key is there, but the lock is a bit rusty.
Interesting. And what about for men? I mean, we don't hear as much about hormonal changes in men during this time.
Oh, it happens for sure. Men experience a gradual decline in testosterone, usually about 1% per year, starting around age 40.
Really? So it's a gradual thing for both men and women.
Right. And while testosterone is known for other things, it also helps maintain muscle mass and influences insulin response. So these hormonal shifts, both in men and women, mean your body just doesn't process carbs as smoothly, leading to less stable blood sugar.
Okay, so less muscle, shifting hormones. It's like our internal sugar processing system is getting a little less efficient.
Yeah, you can say that.
But there's more to it, right? Didn't you mention the pancreas plays a role too?
Absolutely. Our pancreas, the organ that works so hard to regulate blood sugar, well, it can change with age too.
In what way?
So inside your pancreas, there are these beta cells that make insulin.
Mm.
And as we get older, those beta cells can become less efficient. It's like those little insulin factories slow down a bit.
So they're not pumping out insulin as effectively.
Exactly. It can lead to insulin being released unevenly and the pancreas not reacting as quickly or effectively to changes in blood sugar.
Huh, so it's not just about the amount of insulin, it's also about the timing and how it's released.
Right. And then, to make things even more complex, there's this thing called insulin resistance.
Yeah.
Basically, your cells become less responsive to insulin's signal to take in glucose.
So the key fits, but the door is getting harder to open.
Exactly. And this insulin resistance is a major reason blood sugar control becomes more challenging as we age.
Okay, so let's recap for a sec. We've got less muscle to act as glucose sponges, hormone changes messing with insulin, the pancreas maybe not producing or releasing insulin as well, and our cells becoming resistant to insulin's message. That does sound like a recipe for blood sugar issues.
It definitely creates the perfect environment for it.
And it's not just what's going on inside, right? Our lifestyles often change a lot around this age, too.
Oh, absolutely. And those lifestyle changes can amplify these biological shifts. It's like a domino effect, creating this kind of midlife metabolic spiral.
A metabolic spiral, huh?
Yeah, think about it. Work might be more demanding, Family responsibilities could be more intense. Maybe you have some aches and pains, making it harder to be as active as you once were.
I see where you're going with this.
Right, so less activity leads to even more muscle loss, making it harder for your body to use glucose effectively.
And I bet stress levels tend to go up, not down, during this time.
Totally. And stress releases cortisol, a hormone that raises blood sugar directly. Plus, stress often messes with sleep, and poor sleep throws off your hormones, making blood sugar control even harder.
It's like a whole chain reaction. And we haven't even mentioned what we eat, which probably changes for a lot of people too.
Yeah, our diets are a big part of this. What your body could handle in your 20s or 30s might not be the best choice after 40.
So it's not just about one thing. It's like all these factors combine to make blood sugar a bigger issue. And what are the consequences of all this, aside from just feeling a bit sluggish?
Oh, the effects can be pretty significant, impacting your whole well-being. We're talking persistent fatigue, those afternoon energy crashes, weight gain, especially around the belly.
Ugh, the dreaded belly fat.
Right. Plus, you might find yourself craving more carbs, which leads to more blood sugar swings. And then there are mood swings, irritability, trouble sleeping. All of these can be tied to blood sugar imbalances.
So it's not just a physical thing. It can affect our mental and emotional well-being too.
Definitely. And all this increases your risk of developing prediabetes or even type 2 diabetes later on.
Okay, so we've painted a pretty clear picture of what can happen. But, like we said earlier, there is good news. We're not just stuck with this. We can take control, right?
Absolutely. We have so much power to influence how our bodies respond. The key is understanding that our needs have changed, and we need to adapt our approach to health and wellness.
So what does that look like? Where do we even begin to take back control naturally?
The encouraging thing is that even with these age-related changes, you can make a big difference. It's about creating a new set of habits that support your body's needs now.
Okay, so let's talk about building that new foundation. What are some key lifestyle changes to consider? Let's start with food. What does strategic nutrition look like at this stage?
Strategic nutrition after 40 is all about supporting your muscles, keeping blood sugar steady, and having consistent energy. And protein is your best friend here. Aim for 25 to 30 grams of protein per meal.
That's a good amount.
It is, and it helps maintain those precious muscles and keeps you feeling fuller longer, preventing those blood sugar spikes after a carb-heavy meal.
So protein first. What else?
It's also smart to time your carbs strategically. Like if you're going to be active, that's a good time to have more carbs because your muscles will use that glucose more efficiently.
Ah, so fuel the workout.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And don't forget fiber, especially the soluble kind. It slows down glucose absorption so your blood sugar rises more gradually.
Okay, fiber is key. Any other nutrition tips?
Oh, a simple but effective one is meal sequencing. Start with veggies, then protein and healthy fats, and save starches and sugars for last. This can help prevent that big blood sugar spike after eating.
Meal sequencing. Interesting. I'll have to try that. So we've got food covered. What about exercise? What kind of movement is best for managing blood sugar after 40?
You know, any movement is good, but some types are especially helpful. Strength training at least twice a week is crucial for building and maintaining muscle mass.
So we're talking lifting weights, squats, lunges, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Anything that challenges your muscles. And even a 10-minute walk after meals can make a big difference in lowering blood sugar. It's like a gentle nudge for your muscles to use that glucose.
So those after-dinner walks really do matter.
We really do. And then there's interval training, short bursts of high-intensity exercise followed by rest. It's great for improving insulin sensitivity.
Okay, so mix it up. Strength training, walks, intervals. Got it. And I know this one's tough for a lot of us, but stress and sleep management, we can't ignore those, right?
Absolutely not. Stress and sleep are closely tied to your hormones and, as a result, your blood sugar. Chronic stress keeps cortisol high, which raises blood sugar. So daily stress reduction is crucial.
Easier said than done, but I know it's important.
It is. Find what works for you. Meditation, deep breathing, time in nature, hobbies, anything that helps you relax. And quality sleep is just as crucial. Aim for a regular sleep schedule, make your bedroom a sleep sanctuary, and ditch screens before bed to boost melatonin production.
All those little things can make a big difference.
They really can. It all adds up.
Okay, so those lifestyle changes are the foundation. But you mentioned earlier that targeted supplements can provide extra support, and that's where a product like GlucoTrust comes in, right?
Exactly. GlucoTrust is designed to work alongside those healthy habits, offering a blend of specific ingredients that directly address those age-related blood sugar challenges.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's break down some of those ingredients. We've got Gymnema sylvestre. What's the deal with that?
Oh, Gymnema sylvestre is fascinating. It's an herb used in Ayurveda for centuries, and it works in a few cool ways. It can reduce sugar absorption in your gut, support insulin production in the pancreas, and even block those sweet taste receptors on your tongue.
Whoa, that's pretty amazing. It's like a triple threat against sugar cravings.
Right. Then there's biotin, a B vitamin most people know for hair and nails.
Yeah, that's what I always thought about biotin for.
It does help with that, but it's also a metabolism superstar. It enhances insulin function and helps your body use carbs, fats, and proteins more efficiently for energy.
So it's a multitasker. What about chromium? I've definitely heard that link to healthy blood sugar before.
Chromium is essential, and it becomes even more important as we get older. It helps improve insulin sensitivity, meaning your body handles sugar better after meals. It can also keep blood sugar steadier between meals, preventing those energy dips and crashes.
So no more feeling hangry between meals.
Exactly. And then we have manganese, another key player. It helps with insulin production, blood sugar utilization in your cells, and acts as an antioxidant to protect against oxidative stress, which can be a problem when blood sugar is out of whack.
Okay, so lots of benefits from manganese. And licorice root. I know it has a distinct flavor, but does it actually help with blood sugar?
It does. It contains flavonoids that have been shown to help manage blood sugar levels. Plus, it supports your adrenal glands, which regulate stress hormones, and those can definitely impact glucose levels.
Interesting. And licorice root has anti-inflammatory properties too, which are good for overall health.
Exactly. And then we have juniper berries, packed with antioxidants that fight oxidative stress. They also support your immune system and have anti-inflammatory compounds, all helpful when you're dealing with blood sugar fluctuations.
Okay, so juniper berries are like little protectors. And lastly, we have zinc. You mentioned earlier that we might not absorb it as well as we age. Why is it important for blood sugar?
Zinc is crucial for how insulin is stored and released by the pancreas. It's also involved in how your body uses sugar for energy and plays a big role in immune function. So having a good source of zinc, especially as we age, can be super helpful.
So looking at all these ingredients, it seems like GlucoTrust really is designed to tackle blood sugar from multiple angles.
That's the idea. It's formulated to support your blood sugar metabolism, enhance insulin sensitivity, improve carb processing, support your pancreas, and even help manage stress.
It's like a full body approach to blood sugar control.
You could say that. And it's especially effective because it addresses both the immediate sugar absorption in the gut and the longer-term issue of insulin sensitivity.
So it's tackling the problem from both sides. Okay, this is all great information. But for someone listening who's over 40 and starting to notice these changes in their energy or how they feel after eating, where do they begin? How do they create a plan to manage their blood sugar?
The best approach is a combination of those lifestyle changes we talked about and potentially GlucoTrust for extra support. The first step is knowing where you stand right now, establishing your baseline. If you can, work with your doctor to get a blood sugar check and see what's going on.
So get some data.
Right. And start paying attention to your body's signals. Track your energy levels, notice when you feel hungry and what that feels like. Monitor your mood swings. This helps you see patterns and how different foods and behaviors affect you personally.
So it's about tuning into your body's feedback. What comes after that?
The next step is committing to those healthy habits we discussed. Get enough protein, eat lots of veggies, move your body daily with strength training, walks, and intervals, prioritize sleep, and find ways to manage stress. These are the cornerstones.
The non-negotiables.
Exactly. And once you've got those in place, you can consider adding a supplement like GlucoTrust for extra support. Start with the recommended dose and see how you feel.
So it's a complement to a healthy lifestyle, not a replacement.
Exactly. And finally, keep monitoring and adjust as needed. Pay attention to your energy, focus, mood, and don't be afraid to tweak things. Maybe a morning walk works better than an evening one, or a particular stress relief technique is your go-to. Consistency is key, but be flexible too.
So it's a journey of self-discovery and adaptation, which is empowering. And it's encouraging to hear that these age-related blood sugar changes don't have to be a downward spiral.
Not at all. They're manageable, and they don't have to define your health and well-being as you get older. By understanding what's happening and using targeted strategies, both lifestyle and potentially supplements, you can achieve stable energy, a better mood, better sleep, and lower your risk of long-term metabolic issues.
It really highlights the power of taking a holistic approach, combining those mindful habits with the targeted support of a supplement like GlucoTrust.
Absolutely. It's about working with your body, not against it.
So to wrap things up, here's a thought for you. What's one small step you can take today based on what you've learned? Maybe it's adding more protein to your next meal or setting a reminder to take a walk after lunch. Whatever it is, take that step and start on the path to better blood sugar management as you navigate your 40s and beyond. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.